You are here because something inside you is ready to shift. You feel the quiet pull of change, the whisper that there must be more than repeating the same patterns day after day. Deep within, you know that your reality is not fixed. It bends, it responds, and it waits for you to awaken to your true power. Right now, you will discover a technique that few truly understand, yet it has the potential to transform the way you live. This is not just another idea to entertain the mind. It is a path into the core of creation itself. Every great tradition has hinted at this truth in different words. The scriptures speak of faith that moves mountains. The mystics speak of inner alignment with the divine. Science speaks of the observer effect in quantum physics. All of these point to the same hidden key. Reality is not something that happens to you by chance. Reality is shaped by the state of your consciousness. Think of the moments when your life seemed to align perfectly. The person you needed appeared. The opportunity arrived at the right time. The words you were longing to hear were spoken. You may have called it coincidence, but deep down you felt the presence of a higher order. What you are about to learn is how to work with that order consciously, rather than stumbling into it by accident. The truth is that you are already shaping your reality every day, but without awareness, you repeat the same patterns. Now you are going to step into conscious creation. This journey begins with a single realization. What you see around you is not the limit of what exists. You are surrounded by infinite possibilities, all waiting to be chosen. The choice does not happen in the external world first. It begins inside you, in your mind, in your heart, and in your emotions. The technique you are about to learn unites all of these dimensions. It is called visualization, but not in the casual sense of daydreaming. It is visualization combined with emotion, the sacred union that sends a clear signal into the quantum field. When you learn to feel the reality you desire, as if it is already alive within you, the universe cannot help but respond. The power of the quantum mind. Your mind is more than a collection of thoughts drifting through the day. It is a transmitter of energy, a projector of images, and a key that interacts with the deepest fabric of existence. Quantum physics shows us that at the smallest scale, reality is not made of solid objects but of possibilities. Particles exist in states of potential until they are observed, and it is the act of observation that collapses one possibility into form. This means that consciousness itself is part of creation. Your awareness is not passive. It is active, shaping what unfolds before you. Consider this. Every time you focus on something, you are amplifying its presence in the field. Where attention goes, energy flows. The more you think about lack, the more lack is confirmed. The more you focus on fear, the more fear seems to surround you. But when you direct your mind toward gratitude, toward clarity, toward the vision of who you truly want to be, the field begins to bend in that direction. The power of the quantum mind is that it is not bound by time or space. When you hold an image inside you with focus and emotion, you are reaching into the field where all futures already exist and selecting the one you wish to experience. This is not imagination in the ordinary sense. This is deliberate creation. The mind is the architect that sketches the blueprint of reality. Without that blueprint, the field cannot respond with clarity. Most people allow their minds to wander without direction, and so their lives wander as well. But you can choose to think with precision, to hold a picture so vivid that your body begins to believe it is real. The quantum mind does not just imagine, it instructs. It sends commands to the fabric of reality itself. And when these commands are charged with emotion, they carry weight. This is the starting point of the technique that will change everything for you. You must begin to see your mind not as a prisoner of the world, but as the power that shapes it. Ordinary imagination versus conscious visualization. You have spent much of your life imagining. Daydreams of what could be, thoughts drifting to what you wish would happen, fleeting fantasies of success, love, or freedom. But ordinary imagination is like a candle in the wind. It flickers, it shifts, and it fades as quickly as it comes. Conscious visualization, however, is something entirely different. It is not a random dream. It is a deliberate act of creation. It is the art of holding an image in your mind with clarity and intention, allowing it to grow roots inside your body and spirit until it feels alive. The difference is subtle but powerful. When you daydream, you may think about what you want, but you also carry doubt, hesitation, or distance. You say to yourself, "One day I hope this happens." That distance between you and the vision is enough to keep it out of reach. Conscious visualization eliminates that distance. You step into the vision as if it is happening now. You feel the texture of the experience. You sense the details, the colors, the atmosphere. You allow your imagination to transform into a lived reality inside of you. Most people never practice this level of clarity. They confuse wishing with creating. Wishing is passive. It hands power to circumstances. Creating is active. It takes the raw material of thought and sculpts it into a form so precise that the universe cannot ignore it. Conscious visualization is not about fantasy. It is about rehearsal. It is about programming your mind and body to know the experience so deeply that it becomes familiar, inevitable, and magnetic. This is why the technique is so powerful. Ordinary imagination leaves you where you started. Conscious visualization moves you forward. It builds a bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the potential and the actual. The truth is that everything you now experience was once only imagined. The house you live in was first an idea. The job you hold was once a possibility. The relationships you cherish began as thoughts of connection. What you imagine with intention today becomes your experience tomorrow. Conscious visualization is the discipline of guiding that process, of moving beyond vague hopes into the realm of creation itself. The role of emotion in creation. If visualization is the blueprint, emotion is the electricity that brings it to life. Without emotion, your mental images are flat, fragile, and weak. With emotion, they become vivid, powerful, and magnetic. Emotion is energy in motion. It is the frequency that the universe hears. You can think endlessly about what you want, but until you feel it in your body, the signal is faint. Once you add emotion, the field vibrates in response. Think about the moments that have shaped your life. You do not remember them only as facts. You remember them because of how they made you feel. The joy of success, the ache of loss, the rush of love, the spark of inspiration. Emotion is what imprints reality onto your nervous system. The same principle applies in conscious creation. When you visualize your desired reality, you must not only see it, you must feel it, you must breathe it. You must allow your body to live it before it arrives. Science confirms this truth. Studies show that when people rehearse movements in their minds with emotional engagement, the brain wires itself as if the movement had actually been performed. The neurons do not wait for the physical act to occur. They fire in advance, preparing the body for the experience. This means that your body begins to live a reality before it physically unfolds. Emotion is the key that tells your system, this is real, this is happening now. This is why many people struggle. They visualize but remain emotionally detached. They create a picture without energy. The field responds, but weakly. To change your reality, you must generate the feelings of gratitude, joy, certainty, and love as if the vision has already manifested. When you do, your entire being shifts into alignment. The field around you reorganizes to match that vibration. Remember this truth: the universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to frequency. Your emotion is the frequency. When you learn to pair clear visualization with elevated emotion, you are no longer hoping, you are broadcasting. You are sending a powerful signal into the quantum field, and reality has no choice but to answer. When the mind and the heart align, there is a secret that the greatest mystics and the most advanced scientists are beginning to agree upon. True creation happens when the mind and the heart move together. The mind is the architect, shaping thoughts into images. The heart is the amplifier, charging those images with the frequency of life itself. When your thoughts and your emotions are in harmony, you create coherence, and coherence is power. Imagine the mind as a radio station broadcasting ideas. On its own, the signal is thin, sometimes scattered, and often lost in the noise of competing frequencies. Now imagine the heart as the transmitter tower. When the heart pumps emotion into the signal, the broadcast becomes strong, clear, and undeniable. This is why you cannot create lasting change by thinking alone. You must feel the vision until your heart beats in rhythm with it. Science supports this. Research on heart coherence shows that when people generate emotions such as love, gratitude, or compassion, the electromagnetic field of the heart becomes ordered and expansive. This coherent field not only influences the body, balancing hormones and calming the nervous system, but it also radiates outward into the environment. In other words, your heart literally broadcasts your state to the field around you. When the mind provides the picture and the heart provides the frequency, The two together form a code that the quantum field responds to. Think about times when you felt completely aligned. You not only knew what you wanted, but also felt it deeply. In those moments, opportunities seemed to appear out of nowhere. People and resources aligned. Synchronicities multiplied. That was not luck. That was coherence. The problem is that most people live in incoherence. They think one thing but feel another. They think of abundance while feeling fear. They imagine love while carrying resentment. They hope for change while drowning in doubt. This mixed signal confuses the field. No wonder results are inconsistent. To create consciously, you must bring the mind and the heart into agreement. You must think and feel the same reality. This is the power of coherence, and it is the foundation of true manifestation. Why just imagining does not work? Many people hear about visualization and try it for a few days. They imagine themselves successful, healthy, or free, but nothing changes. They become frustrated and declare that the technique does not work. What they do not realize is that imagining alone is not enough. Imagination without embodiment keeps the dream at a distance. You may see the vision, but you also feel the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That very gap becomes the message you send to the universe. When you say, "One day this will happen," you are affirming that it is not happening now. When you visualize as if it is far away, you lock it into the future. The field responds exactly to the state you hold. It keeps the vision ahead of you because that is how you defined it. This is the error of ordinary imagination. It creates longing, but not reality. The secret is to collapse the distance, to feel as if it is already true in this very moment. You do not simply watch yourself in the future. You step into the role now. You imagine the details so vividly that your body responds. You feel the confidence of the new job, the joy of the relationship, the peace of the healed body. You allow gratitude to rise as if the gift is already received. That emotional alignment erases the separation. The universe does not recognize time the way you do. It responds to frequency. When you broadcast the frequency of already having, it brings experiences that confirm that frequency. This is why many remain stuck. They imagine but do not believe. They hope but do not feel. They dream but do not embody. To create consciously, you must replace hoping with knowing, wishing with experiencing, longing with gratitude. Stop projecting your desires into a future that never arrives. Pull them into the present with the power of feeling. When you master this, imagination transforms into creation, and your reality begins to shift in ways that others cannot explain, but you will know as the direct result of your alignment. The brain does not distinguish the real from the imagined. One of the most astonishing discoveries in neuroscience is that your brain cannot clearly tell the difference between what is happening in the outer world and what is vividly imagined in the inner world. When you imagine with detail and emotion, the same neural pathways activate as if you were physically living the experience. This is why athletes rehearse mentally before competitions. By visualizing the race or the movement, their brains and bodies prepare as though the event has already taken place. Think about what this means for your life. Every time you visualize with emotion, your brain wires itself for that future. It begins to create the chemistry, the hormones, and the neural networks that belong to that reality. Your body starts living in the state of the experience before it manifests physically. In other words, you do not wait for success to feel confident. You generate confidence now, and that confidence attracts success. You do not wait for healing to feel whole. You generate wholeness now, and that wholeness guides the body toward balance. The challenge is that most people unknowingly use this power against themselves. They rehearse fear. They visualize failure. They imagine rejection. They allow worst-case scenarios to play in their minds repeatedly, and their bodies respond as if those fears are happening. The brain releases stress hormones. The nervous system contracts. The body lives in survival mode. And then they wonder why life reflects back more struggle and limitation. But you can reverse this pattern. You can use the same mechanism consciously to create what you desire. When you visualize a positive outcome with emotion, your brain begins to believe it is already real. It primes your body to align with that reality. It trains your subconscious to notice opportunities that match the vision. The more often you practice, the stronger the neural connections become, until your new reality feels natural. This is not about pretending or lying to yourself. It is about training your system to live in the vibration of what you desire until the external world cannot help but mirror it back to you. The collapse of the wave function explains simply. At the quantum level, reality does not exist as solid objects waiting to be discovered. It exists as a sea of probabilities, waves of potential that can manifest in countless ways. Physicists call this the wave function. It represents all the possible states a particle could be in. But here is the mystery. When an observation is made, the wave of possibilities collapses into a single outcome. In simple words, attention shapes reality. This principle is not just a scientific curiosity, it is the foundation of conscious creation. You are the observer, and your focused awareness determines which possibility takes form. Every time you hold an image with clarity and emotion, you are collapsing waves of potential into an actual experience. You are not creating from nothing. You are choosing from the infinite options that already exist. Think of the quantum field as an ocean filled with countless fish, each one a different version of your future. When you cast the net of your attention and charge it with the bait of emotion, the fish that matches your signal is drawn to you. Without focus, the net drifts empty. Without emotion, the bait is weak. But when you combine both, the catch becomes inevitable. This is why clarity is essential. If your thoughts are scattered, you collapse nothing. If your emotions are incoherent, the field receives a mixed signal. But when you bring clear attention and elevated emotion together, the universe responds with precision. The possibility you select begins to crystallize. The people, opportunities, and circumstances that match your choice begin to appear. To the outside world, it looks like luck. To you, it feels like alignment. Remember this simple truth. Reality is not fixed until you observe it with focus. Possibilities remain fluid until you decide who you are and what you feel. The collapse of the wave function is not something happening far away in laboratories. It is happening in you right now, with every thought and every emotion. You are constantly shaping reality, whether consciously or unconsciously. The question is, will you continue collapsing waves into the same old patterns, or will you learn to choose a new one deliberately? The practice that few people know. Now it is time to move from concept to practice. You have learned that visualization is the blueprint, that emotion is the power, and that coherence between heart and mind creates the frequency that shapes reality. But how do you apply this in a way that becomes real, simple, and transformative? The answer is a practice so simple that many dismiss it, yet it is the very key to shifting your reality. It is the ritual of 5 minutes. Every day, give yourself just 5 minutes to sit in stillness. Close your eyes, quiet your mind, and allow yourself to step into the reality you desire. See it with detail. Do not observe it from a distance as if watching a movie. Step into the scene. Be the person living it. Look through your own eyes. Feel the environment around you. Hear the sounds. Notice the colors, the textures, the sensations. Make the scene vivid and alive. Now comes the most important part. Feel the emotion of already having it. If you are visualizing abundance, feel gratitude as if the resources are already flowing into your life. If you are visualizing healing, feel the joy of health already restored. If you are visualizing love, feel the warmth and safety of connection. Allow your heart to expand as if the vision is present now. Gratitude is especially powerful because gratitude says, I have already received. It erases the sense of waiting and anchors the vision in the present moment. End the practice by affirming silently, thank you, it is done. Then release it. Do not spend the rest of the day wondering if it worked. Do not check the field like a farmer digging up seeds to see if they have sprouted. Trust that the process is already in motion. The universe responds to faith, not doubt. This practice is simple, but few truly commit to it. They complicate, they delay, or they dismiss. Yet those who give themselves these 5 minutes daily begin to notice subtle shifts. Synchronicities increase. Inner peace grows. Outer circumstances start to rearrange. It is not about effort. It is about alignment. The ritual of 5 minutes practiced with sincerity is enough to begin rewriting your reality from the inside out. Recognizing the signs of manifestation. As you practice visualization with emotion and coherence, you will begin to notice changes. They may not always arrive as lightning bolts or dramatic breakthroughs. More often, they come as subtle signals, whispers from the universe confirming that your frequency is being answered. Learning to recognize these signs is as important as the practice itself because they strengthen your trust and keep you aligned. One common sign is synchronicity. You think about an idea, and suddenly you hear it spoken in a conversation or see it written in a book. You wonder about a solution, and a stranger brings it up casually. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the field is rearranging in harmony with your intention. Another sign is repetition. You begin to see the same numbers, phrases, or symbols in different contexts. It is as if reality is underlining a message, saying, "Pay attention. This is your path. Do not dismiss these moments. They are part of the language of the universe." A third sign is inner peace. When you are aligned, the constant anxiety and doubt begin to fade. You feel a quiet confidence even before the external result arrives. This inner state is itself proof that the shift has already begun. The outer world simply needs time to catch up. It is also important to notice resistance. Sometimes, as you move into a new frequency, old patterns rise to the surface. Challenges appear, not to stop you, but to test your commitment. Recognize these as signs as well. They are opportunities to release what no longer belongs to the new reality you are creating. Keep a journal of these signs. Write down the synchronicities, the repetitions, the inner shifts. Over time, the evidence will grow undeniable. You will see that your practice is not empty. The field is alive, responsive, and communicating with you constantly. The more you honor these signs, the more they will appear. Trust them. They are proof that your reality is already in motion, unfolding step by step, aligning with the vision you dare to feel as real. Spiritual integration of the technique. When you look deeper, you realize that visualization combined with emotion is not only a psychological exercise or a scientific principle, it is a spiritual practice. Across cultures and traditions, the same truth has been spoken with different names. Prayer is the act of speaking to the divine. But true prayer is not begging or asking from a place of lack. True prayer is alignment. It is the act of feeling as if what you desire has already been given. It is gratitude before the evidence appears. This is the very essence of quantum visualization. Spiritual integration means you stop separating science and faith, mind and soul. You recognize that the same laws that govern the quantum field are the laws through which the divine communicates with creation. When you visualize with emotion, you are not forcing the universe. You are harmonizing with it. You are stepping into the flow of divine intelligence that is always guiding you. Think of the words, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is not poetic metaphor. It is literal truth. Faith is the vibration of certainty. It is the inner knowing that collapses probabilities into reality. When you practice visualization as an act of faith, you are declaring, it is already done. You are moving beyond hoping into communion. This perspective frees you from the need to struggle or to manipulate. You no longer chase outcomes. You cultivate alignment, and the outcomes appear naturally. Gratitude becomes your anchor. Gratitude says, I trust, I receive, I am already whole. Gratitude is not an afterthought. It is the frequency of creation itself. To integrate spiritually is to make the practice part of your life. Not as a task, but as a state of being. You carry the feeling of your vision throughout the day, walking as if you are already blessed. You turn your visualization into a living prayer. In doing so, you dissolve the line between the sacred and the ordinary. Every breath, every thought, every emotion becomes an offering, a signal to the field, a dialogue with the divine. This is creation not as technique, but as devotion, and it transforms not only what you manifest, but who you become. Transformation within and expansion without. The ultimate gift of this technique is not merely the manifestation of external desires, though those will surely come. The deeper transformation is who you become in the process. As you practice visualization with emotion, you are training your nervous system to live in a state of peace, gratitude, and empowerment. You are rewiring your brain to release patterns of fear and doubt. You are teaching your heart to expand rather than contract. This is inner transformation, and it is the true foundation of all external change. Think about it. When you visualize abundance and feel gratitude now, you are no longer living in lack. When you visualize healing and feel joy now, you are no longer living in sickness. When you visualize love and feel warmth now, you are no longer living in separation. You begin to embody the reality before it arrives, and that embodiment is the transformation. As you shift inside, the world outside cannot remain the same. The people you attract, the choices you make, the opportunities you notice, all begin to shift in alignment with your new state. Expansion becomes inevitable. You stop repeating the cycles of the past because you are no longer the same person who created them. You are living from a higher frequency, and that frequency draws new experiences. This expansion is not forced. It flows. Just as a seed naturally grows into a tree when placed in the right environment, you naturally expand when you cultivate the inner state of your desired reality. The fruit appears because the roots are healthy. Your outer life blossoms because your inner life has transformed. The beauty of this process is that it does not end. Every manifestation is not the finish line, but the doorway to another level of growth. You realize that the technique is not only about achieving goals, but about awakening to your true nature as a conscious creator. You expand beyond survival into purpose, beyond fear into love, beyond limitation into infinite possibility. This is the journey of inner transformation and outer expansion. It is the path of becoming who you were always meant to be. Now you have seen what few ever truly understand. The technique to change your reality is not hidden in distant places or locked in secret books. It is already within you. The power to visualize with emotion, to feel as if the reality you desire already exists, is the key that opens every door. This is not just a method. It is the natural way the universe responds to consciousness. You are not a victim of chance. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the observer, the transmitter, the creator. Think for a moment about the possibilities that surround you. Infinite versions of your life exist in the quantum field right now. Some are heavy with struggle, others are filled with joy and abundance. Which version you live depends on the signals you broadcast. Every thought, every emotion, every image you hold in your mind and heart is a vote for one reality or another. This is why the technique is so powerful. It teaches you to vote with intention, to choose with clarity, to align with the future that matches your highest self. As you close your eyes and practice, remember that the universe does not respond to begging or waiting. It responds to knowing. When you feel gratitude before the evidence, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. When you align your mind and your heart, you broadcast a signal so coherent that the field cannot ignore it. When you live the emotion of already having, the future becomes the present. This is how reality changes. Carry this truth with you beyond these words. Do not make it only a technique you try once. Let it become a way of being. Walk through your day as if you are already blessed. See every challenge as part of the unfolding. Recognize every synchronicity as confirmation. And above all, trust that you are not waiting for life to begin. You are already living it now. This is your moment. This is your time. The technique is in your hands, and the universe is listening. Feel it, embody it, and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and activate the bell so you won't miss the next insight. Remember, every choice you make collapses a quantum possibility. Choose the reality where your true self is free.